thank you for joining us here at smallcapvoice.com. We've got another great interview for you today, and we are joined by BYND Cannasoft Enterprises. They're traded on the NYSE under the ticker symbol BCAN. They're also traded on the Canadian Stock Exchange as well, and we've got some great news about the company we want to talk to you a little bit about as well. And I'm sorry, that ticker on the CSE is also BYND. Great news about the company on the press wire, but there's some big news here in the United States as well. We're welcoming the CEO and director of the company, Yftah Ben Yaackov. Yftah, how are you today?
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. Now, as I pointed out, here in the United States, there's been some major moves on Capitol Hill and by the White House primarily. The declassification of cannabis movement is obviously picking up steam on the federal level, taking it down from a felony one. And also the pardons of offenders are being encouraged at the state level as well. So pardoning those who've had felony offenses in the past due to marijuana. Now, this looks like tailwinds to us and a reduction of the headwinds, if you will, towards marijuana getting a universal federal level declassification and being legalized completely here in the United States. What impact would that have on your company?
Well, I think we can definitely see a spirit of change in the marijuana classification status, and it could be really unlocking an enormous growth support for the U.S. cannabis industry. We already can evaluate this industry in the US alone as about $33 billion a year. And we can only assume that these actions will value it much higher in the years to come. How it concerned our company? Well, regulations, and especially if we're talking about legalization, a full legalization, will turn the CBD products into basics of off-shelf products whose use will increase over the years for sure. In our aspect, this is a great and important news for our cannabis products business, of course. The software, the medical software, medical cannabis software that we developed, and especially our EZG device that is significantly is the regulation of it as a device that designed to treat various problems in the female reproduction system with CBD oils. And that will make our life much easier to deliver this product without difficulties to every woman in the world. So I can only assume that these actions that the White House is starting to take and eventually, hopefully, lead to a full legalization will increase the valuation of this business greatly.
Well, we love getting your input on that as someone immersed in this industry, but there's other news to talk about that, and there's news from your company that we want to hit on specifically. Out here in the month of October, October 18th is the dateline. Here's the headline: Israel's Ministry of Health, through the Medical Cannabis Unit, granted BYND Cannasoft Enterprises Inc.'s subsidiary, Cannasoft, an initial approval to engage in medical cannabis without direct contact with the substance. Now, that's a designation, the latter half of that, this without direct contact with the substance. That might be new to some of the cultivators here in the United States. Tell us why that's important, and tell us a little bit about this move for your company.
So basically, the regular license that we all know is to grow medical cannabis, to manufacture medical cannabis, stuff like that. In Israel, we have a very special classification of license that calls a license to treat medical cannabis products without touching the substance. The meaning of it is that what you actually do is getting into an agreement with an existing licensed grower in Israel or manufacturer that has the license to grow and manufacture medical cannabis. And this company will give you all the services for all the chain without you even touching the substance in all the chain works.
Okay.
Like they grow the medical cannabis for you, they manufacture it, they deliver it to the pharmacists, they sell it to the pharmacists, they get the revenues from the pharmacist, and they deliver it to you after they clean a little bit of some fees that they have on the way, which is not so significant. And eventually 95-96% of the revenues goes to the company's pocket. And this is very unique license. Maybe 6 or 7 companies in Israel has this license so far. We are in a very, very high stage of getting this license because we've been doing 95% of the procedures from the Ministry of Health until now. And we do believe that in around 2 months from now, we will get the full license. And eventually you can see our medical cannabis products on the shelves of the pharmacists in Israel in less than 3 months from now. Now, the main issue here is that you can save a lot of money from building fancy and very expensive facilities and operate them, which costs millions and millions of dollars. And you can save all this money and be very negotiable to the market in just 3 months from now without getting too much expenses from the side of the manufacturer. This will bring us for sure very significant revenues in the upcoming years, and the expenses will be very low. So this is a big news for us, and I do understand from this point of view right now that when you look at the industry of medical cannabis in Israel, many companies that already has facilities trying to obtain this license, even though they have the facility and the license to grow and manufacture medical cannabis, because they understand they can make their lives much easier and even sometimes reduce the farms and the greenhouses that they have, maybe even close it totally and just use an existing grower or manufacturer instead of growing it themselves. So
well, that's just one big piece of news for your company. We've got 2 other big pieces of news. Here's the headline, everybody. Israeli technology company BYND Cannasoft closes acquisition of, and correct me if I say this wrong, Yftah, Ziggy Carmel Investments Limited, valued at $28 million in the US. And that came out September 23rd, 2022. The reaction in the market was overwhelming. Your stock traded an incredible amount over the next few days based on this news. Tell us, and again, thank you for clearing up some things in that last press release that we really wouldn't understand without your insights, Yftah. And this press release is the same case. If you could just give us your color on why was this such an important move for your company?
Well, if I can touch first of all about the market, I guess the market is smart. They can evaluate something unique, and they can transfer it and translate it to trading, and that was very exciting, very interesting also. But eventually we have to understand this is not the main issue. The main issue here is the product, and it's nothing less than revolutionary from our side. So about a month ago, as you said, we acquired the company Ziggy Carmel, which holds a patent pending for unique products in the field of CBD treatment. The EZG is actually, as I said, is a revolutionary device from the side of treatment for problems in the reproduction system of women. And I can shortly explain. According to existing studies in the world, CBD at low concentrations can significantly improve the phenomena of associated with female reproductive systems, such as fungus and dryness, injuries, pains, and other annoying phenomena. The device is a patent pending and consists hardware and smart software. By the way, it's hardware and a chip of software. One chip that has a very special algorithm. Basically works by inserting a disposable capsule. Think about Nespresso, for example, disposable capsule of CBD oil into the cartridge. And during the use of the device, the oil spreads in a controlled manner into the tissues and makes a big relief to the pain or the dryness or whatever phenomena that the woman has. There are obviously various of challenges in the regulation of the device, but we expect that the use of oil in low concentrations, such as hemp seeds oils and stuff like that, won't lead to a very heavy regulation. But for sure, in the future, we will also work to approve other substances and different doses. This may require a full FDA approval, but we will see when we get there. We plan to act in the coming year to complete the patent registration around the world, handling the regulation of the device, building the prototype, finish up building the prototype, and start production, of course, along with operating a marketing and sales system that we work on right now. A big plan of marketing and sales.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you mentioned that, because there is another press release, and we'll briefly touch on this, but a great quote from you, Yftah Ben Yaackov, who is the CEO, as I mentioned, of Beyond Cannasoft Enterprises. You did a small private placement to facilitate this marketing, this brand awareness, this name recognition. The private placement will allow us to invest in marketing and public relations, an area we have barely invested in since our listing on the CSC, that ticker symbol again, BYND, in April 2021. It will increase the visibility of our company. And again, traded here on the Nasdaq under the ticker symbol BCAN. Another big piece of news for your company, because it includes another revenue stream, another vertical, if you will. This came out September 28, 2022. That's your dateline. Here's your headline. Beyond Cannasoft Enterprises launches beta test for managing farms CRM platform at Israel's Weizmann Institute of Science. Now, Israel's Weizmann Institute of Science is also being in a collaboration with them is a huge validation for you and your company as well. Tell us a little bit about this press release.
So this is one of the most significant things that we did until now. And you must understand, the Weizmann Institute is actually one of the biggest and distinguished science institute in the world, leading researchers for natural and exact science. It has a long history of investigation and discovery of mission of advancing science for the benefit of humanity. And it actually has a very special pioneer side, we can say, of research of CBD use to treat various of conditions. And what we did actually with the Weizmann Institute is we actually combined with them for a joint venture. And we signed an agreement that under its terms, the Weizmann Institute will use a beta version of the software, our software, which is a CRM software, along with a special model created for managing cannabis farms and greenhouses. And we granted the Weizmann Institute the permit to use this license for free for 1 year. After that 1 year, we will extend the agreement, while the company will get a customary rate as we usually charge. And the basic stuff will be that Weizmann Institute has many greenhouses of various of types of that we can cover all development of the software that we need. And it's a huge leap in R&D for this from this agreement for us. And that's great news, because if you want to develop a good software for medical cannabis growers, you must test every single thing that you can think of. And this is thousands of parameters. And you can only do a good R&D when you have a lot of greenhouses, which work scientifically, and very serious people run it. So we can understand from that the development and the R&D will be very unique and very special. So this is a big leap for us in order to bring to the world a very serious software eventually.
Well, excellent. And we so appreciate your time. You've been absolutely prolific since our first interview with you, already touching on 3 new press releases. And we really do appreciate your insights into your industry as well, and how these governmental moves can shift to support your company, as we can clearly see, as you illustrated for us. That is the case at hand right now. Big moves by your company, big associations, product launches, branding, marketing, awareness. I can't wait to see what you do next month, and we look forward to speaking with you once again. Listeners, once again, we are speaking with Yftah Ben Yaackov. He is the CEO and director of Beyond Cannasoft Enterprises. Yftah, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you very much. It was great to see you, great to have this interview, and hope to see you again soon.
Very good. Well, don't forget those ticker symbols on the CSE, BYND, on the Nasdaq here in the United States, BCAN. Take a close look at Beyond Cannasoft Enterprises, and thanks so much for tuning in.